Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a really little quick video. I just want to share a testimony of the Lord's goodness and faithfulness to me over the past year. So I'm currently in a master's program for education. So I'm getting my master's to be a teacher for elementary school education. This is my last year. I'm going into my last year. So let me tell you about the Lord, okay? Because last semester was crazy, y'all. Let me tell you why, okay? Because I got engaged in December of 2023, okay? So I decided to just enjoy my engagement for December or whatever. And then January, I was gonna, as soon as January 1st hit, boom, start wedding planning. So that's what we did. But we also got married in June, so 6 months of planning, okay? So I was planning a wedding. I was in, obviously, my master's program, which required full-time, okay? Also requiring student teaching practicum, so in schools. Also working as a graduate assistant, so doing research, doing that part-time. Then I was also a waitress part-time, also pretty active social life and serving in my ministry and at my church pretty regularly as well. So with all of that, also in another wedding. I was in 2 weddings, supposed to be in 2 weddings. It was, when I say crazy, y'all, it was crazy. So your girl was busy, okay? There was just boom, 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 boom. I literally prayed. I was like, God, I would love to be in a season where I don't have 5 things going on, you know what I mean? Or 4 or 5 things, or even 3 things. I would love to be in a season where I have less than 3 things going on at once, okay? That's not even thinking about or building in the fact of maintaining and investing in relationships. So obviously my fiance, my family, since I was moving, my friends, just all the different things, discipleship, all the whole thing. So it was just a lot going on in that season of life. And I was like, listen, Lord, nothing but the Lord, okay? It's gonna be you. It had to be you. And it was him, okay? I had to take my teacher certification exam, or at least attempt it before the start of the fall semester, okay? This semester coming up. So mind you, I got married in June, okay? But I also was taking summer classes as well. So there was just a lot going on. Also, we were planning the honeymoon, planning all the things. Again, I was moving, so there was a whole nother piece with that, out of the city, etc. So there was out of my hometown, so that was a whole thing. So I had to schedule this test, and this is a test that usually, people take time to study for, obviously because it's to get your certification. And, people in my program, they were studying for months. They were taking their time, different stuff like that. Your girl did not have a spare minute, have not one spare moment to study for this test. And I say this because the way my brain works is categories. I like to check one thing off the list. Okay, if we got this done, push it off. Now the next thing rolls up, I was trying not to get overwhelmed. It was the grace of God in himself that kept her with that. So with what she had. So I signed up for the test in July because where I was seeing it, that was the last option to take the test before my semester started, right? So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do the last possible date. Okay, it was 2 days before my birthday, and I was like, you know what? We are going to start that. And mind you, I get back from the honeymoon right before June ends. So I basically have 2 weeks. The test was on July 11th. So I basically have 2 weeks to study for this test. And I buy the books, I get the books, I look into it. I've not looked into this test really at all, okay? Because I've not had the time or the mental capacity. So I started studying, right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh, I don't know a lot of stuff. I don't know this stuff because I took a practice test before I started studying, and they were asking me these questions, and I was like, oh, I don't know that. I don't know none of, I don't, So I'm like, okay, let me get to studying. Okay, let me get to studying. So I start studying, but obviously it's a lot of content. Also in the thick of my finals and final projects for my summer semester for my 2 classes. So I'm working both in, and I'm also in the midst of something else. I'll let you know that later, but just doing a lot of stuff, okay? It's just not enough time, so I don't even get to the part 2 of the test, study guides or whatever. I don't even get to that, okay? I literally only basically get through one section of part 1, the ELA section, and I took my little practice test because I've been studying for days. And you know what your girl made on a practice test? You know what your girl made on that practice test? A 35, baby. Look. After that, your girl was like, well, it's too late. I can't give you any more time because the test is literally like in a few days and I got to move on. But after I finished my final semester for my summer semester, turning that project, your girl's brain shut down. She was like, I can't do no more. I've been on GACE since January. I'm not doing nothing else. Nothing. Okay. And I decided to listen to my brain. So I rested all the days up and before the test. It was like 3-4 days left. I was like, listen, I'm not going to stress myself out about this because we only had to attempt the test, right? So I was like, okay. The day the test comes, I wake up that morning or whatever, and I'm feeling kind of like, because I know I haven't prepared like at all. And I don't like going into something and not being prepared. But I was like, Kendall, it only has to be an attempt. It only has to be an attempt. So that is what I make it. An attempt. And I like calm myself down. And also, your girl has a little problem focusing sometimes. Maybe ADD. So I have like these like natural like focus pills or whatever, literally natural, okay? Because I actually went to the doctor and got like on like real medication or whatever, but for me, it didn't work that well, or for me, I didn't like it. So I decided to go a more natural route. So a lot of research has been done into the supplements and the different types of things that I take. I like have this little setup, this little routine. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take all this stuff. I usually put it in my tea, okay? Ginger tea specifically because ginger tea covers up all the nasty tastes of all the things. I put it in my tea and I'm about to drink it. But y'all, tell me why once I put all the stuff in there and I drink the tea tastes like poison. The supplements ain't supplementing like they usually do. So I'm like, okay, no tea. And my brain's already fuzzy and kind of fried from just working for the last semester, right? So I'm like, okay, that's not gonna work. Fine. I don't got nothing. You know what I mean? I'm going in here raw. I go in there, I take the test. It's a time test. Each part is 2 hours, okay? And I take them all on the same day, back to back. So 2 hours for part 1, 2 hours for part 2. Okay, a little 5-minute break in between so I can go use the bathroom. Eat a little snack. Some banana bread. I might insert a picture. Y'all, let me tell you, while I'm taking this test, I start part 1 and immediately I'm like, God, I really need you, because you know how you get in a test and you're reading the question over and over and over again. I'm only on question 3, okay? And I'm like, I only have so much time. Like, I just cannot like focus, I am like, Lord, I literally need you. Like, I have nothing. God is good, because even for the essay portion, there were 2 essay portions on the first part. I had something, I knew a little bit of something, and I was like, okay, cool. So I go into part 2, and I take part 2. I'm like, look, I'm not about to stress about this. I've been in here for 2.5 hours already. I'm about to go, okay? Dude, yeah, that sounds right. I don't know, I'm not gonna waste my time. Boom. Okay, so I finish the test, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm just ready to go home because I got plans later. They give you an unofficial score. Part 1, I can't have an unofficial score because it's a constructive response section, the essays that someone has to like look at those and grade them. But for part 2, they do give you an official score, and that's the math and etc. So for me, y'all, I look at that score. The score is a 276. Now, mind you, the test is out of 300. Okay, to pass the test, you have to get like a 220 minimum for like a induction beginner score, but a professional score is 250 or above. So let me bring it back. I got a 276. Mind you, this is the part I did not study for. I ain't even cracked that book open, baby. Ordered off Amazon, ain't touched it. It's going back. It is 276. My brain was all over the place. Barely had breakfast. Didn't study not nan whatever. And yet the Lord, I passed it at a professional level at that, So let me, I was shocked, okay? After this, I was literally completely shocked because I was like, Lord, how? God, I really believe that my tea the supplements didn't work in the tea for a reason, because the Lord was like, look, I am going to show you that I'm with you and you are all I need, mentally, whatever, academically, I am all that you need. And literally any success that you do have is because of the glory of God. And I want to encourage and just give glory to God because the Lord has blessed me significantly. I have been able to do amazing things in my academic career. He's brought me to like some very cool places. I've gotten a chance to like study abroad and go abroad and work and research and different things. I am extremely blessed, okay? Even last semester, okay? There's no way I should have been able to do all that, plan all that, do wedding, all the things, and still come out with all A's. And I haven't checked my grades, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm assuming they're all A's. But there's no way I could have been able to do the things that I was able to do all the things that the Lord I had on my plate at that moment and then still thrive. There's just no way. And I just want to make a statement about the goodness of God and how we oftentimes we look at ourselves, we rely on ourselves. Like for me, I've always been very blessed in school. I've always loved school. I've always been able to learn things quickly, etc. But I think at one point I began to take that to mean that I was, I had all the gifts and I had it was all for me. You know what I mean? But the Lord is so good, honey, because it was absolutely not me. And it is just the grace of God on my life. And helping me thrive and helping me succeed in every way that I have. In school and college and high school and elementary, it's just been the hand of God on my life. And I just want to give God glory because anything that he does, anything that you see in my life is because of God. Anywhere that I go, anything that the Lord does through me, any opportunity that I get is purely because of the Lord. And I say that too because I have found my identity in my worth, in my intelligence, in my ability. But anything that you see, it ain't nothing of me. It's nothing of me. It is all of God. And I say that too because the Lord is so gracious to humble me and show me that, because after I graduated undergrad, your girl went through a time. I've been learning different things about my mind. That's even the ADD thing really significant because I started having trouble focusing and just having trouble in general with my mind. I'd never had trouble, before. Enemy tried to tell me that I would never be able to go back to school, that I would never be able to operate the way that I did before or, be successful, or I couldn't do certain things, or these goals that I had, these things, I couldn't do it, literally couldn't. And this is just to encourage anybody, no matter what weakness you have, it does not matter to God. If the Lord calls you somewhere, baby, you're going to be there. Okay? It doesn't matter, because if you trust in the Lord, it's him that brought you there. And I think that's a significant thing, because even with the teeth thing, I just keep coming back to that, because the Lord is like, you don't need that. I'm going to show you at your weakest. It doesn't matter, because if I'm with you, then that's all that you need. And I'm the one that's making it happen anyway, baby. It wasn't the pills. And I'm not talking about nothing crazy. Okay? I'm literally talking about some vitamins or whatever. It wasn't that. It's me. It is the Lord. If the Lord wants you to be somewhere, baby, you will. And get comfortable trusting in the Lord. And I say this too because it also reminded me of this thing where the Lord calls me to, because a lot of times we're like, okay, that's too much. I looked at my plate last semester. I'm like, Lord, that's too much. Sometimes I look at all these things the Lord calls me to do, and I'm like, I'm not enough. But the fact of the matter is that the Lord is, and we've been talking about weakness and his strength for a long time. Paul was talking about in 2 Corinthians 12, yo, Lord, I need your help. There's this thorn on my side. There's this weakness that I got. I'm struggling. Verse 5, it says, on behalf of this man, I will boast, but on my own behalf, I will not boast, except of my weakness. Though if I should wish to boast, I would not be a fool, for I would be speaking the truth, but I refrain from it so that no one may think more of me than he sees in me or hears from me. Okay? So to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given to me in the flesh. Now, Paul was used a lot. Okay? The Lord used him profoundly. He wrote a significant part. He had a significant impact on the faith as we know today. Okay? But there was a thorn. There was something that he struggled with. And this is the thorn in his flesh that he's referring to. So to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from becoming conceited. Verse 8, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So let me break that down. My grace is sufficient for you. God's grace is the unearned, unmerited favor of God. What God gives us, that's all we need. His grace covers all of our weaknesses, all of our brokenness. So though we struggle, though we have a weakness, though we have thorns, though our bodies and things are imperfect and broken in this life, it is nothing. It is nothing to God. You know what I mean? He says, for my power is made perfect in weakness. In our weakness, we see the goodness in the power and the greatness of God. Again, just thinking about that in regards to anything, that the Lord calls you to. It doesn't matter. Your weakness, your deficiencies, it don't matter. Not at all. I would just say yes. Whatever the Lord calls you to, I would just say yes. Because it's not about you. It's about what the Lord is doing in you. Then verse 10 says, for the sake of Christ, then I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Because the Lord is with me. For me, that's really significant because we put a lot of trust in ourselves. We rely on ourselves. Like, okay, I got to be this. I got to be this. But the Lord is like, no, it doesn't have anything to do with you. You can go anywhere I call you to go. You can go and do anything as long as I'm with you, So embrace being weak. Get comfortable with it. You know what I mean? Because we see the hand of God more when we stop. We see the hand of God consistently anyway. But when we're just like, God, look, I honestly think that we attempt to do more, higher than we would, past our limits when we know that God is with us. Some things we're like, oh, I can't do that, or there's an insecurity here, or there's like lie here, or whatever. But I honestly think that we reach farther when we know that the Lord is with us, and He's the one behind us, pushing us and moving us. So that's just it. I just wanted to share that testimony of the Lord's goodness and faithfulness, because He knew I was busy, honey. I didn't have no time, okay? And it was nothing but the grace of God that helped me pass that test. That's it. I just want to share that with you guys. The Lord is faithful. I'll continue to do testimonies and just updates about the Lord's faithfulness throughout this year, because I'm sure there are going to be plenty. And if any of us look around, there's plenty of opportunities to see the faithfulness and goodness of God. So that's it, y'all. Enjoy your lives. More content coming soon. Pray for me, girl. Pray for me, whoever that I edit. Okay. I'm doing something. Don't come in.
What are you doing?
I'm recording something. Go away. I love you. But anyway, your girl did not have any spare time. That was my husband. But either way, your girl did not have any. Had a significant impact on the faith as we know today. Okay, not. He ain't Jesus. Okay, he ain't someone we seeing like that. Jesus was separate in himself. Paul was cool, but he wasn't Jesus, and he'll point to him too. Okay, I'm just bringing that there. Okay, don't get confused.